So we take a look at the starting lineups for tonight's contest, starting with the visiting Celtics of Doc Rivers, Paul Pierce, and Rafe LaFrentz up front for him, Kendrick Perkins in the middle, and Delonte West and Ricky Davis having a fine season in the backcourt for the visitors. Meanwhile, home club, Big Ben will be an all-star again, most likely in the middle. Tayshaun Prince and Rasheed Wallace up front. In the backcourt has Rip Hamilton and Chauncey Billups. So how good is this starting five for Detroit? Well, they've been together for 2 complete playoff runs and almost 3 years. So the best starting five in the NBA and a ridiculous 29-5 record for this ball club, and a couple of statement games so far, although they say there's no statement. They've beaten the defending champion San Antonio Spurs twice. Big action going on here, folks. Madison Square Garden, 96-90. The Knicks lose to the Timberwolves. So the Knicks lose in Toronto yesterday, which snapped their undefeated string they had going in 2006. Really got hammered there, giving up 129 points to the Raptors. A little bit closer on this day, and they actually got the deficit to 4 points with under a minute to go. And we actually showed you here on NBA TV a tough possession for them as Jamal Crawford turned the ball over with wide open Channing Frye and a chance to narrow the deficit to 2. But, you know, that was ifs, ands, and buts as far as the Knicks are concerned, and they take the L, drop to 13-23 on the season. Wally Szczerbiak, 24 points, game high, along with Kevin Garnett, who had 16 rebounds and 6 assists to go along with his 24, so that's pretty big there. And we take a look at another final. We got the New Orleans Oklahoma City Hornets coming up big in Charlotte, 107-92, the winning numbers there. The rookie Chris Paul, who's from the Carolinas, had a chance to really show his fans what he can do, and 24 points, 7 boards, and 6 assists. How good is that? Ricky also gets you 4 steals, and the Hornets improved to 18-19 on this season, and the second-year Bobcats dropped to 11-27. Gerald Wallace, 6 blocked shots on the game. This comes after a game when he had 8 steals for his club. So always active, always all over the place. And a couple of those blocked shots on Chris Paul actually sent the ball to deep in the stands where it was like volleyball. Quick live look in here. We're going to go to the United Center where the Bulls are entertaining the Nuggets, up by 9, 70-61.
Duhan for 3. No. Nope. Well, you get that terrific effort, and you just can't take advantage of it. That'll happen once in a while. Miller runs into Harrington. Martin off the glass. Good. And Scott Skiles wants a timeout. Doesn't like the way this is going. 7-point Bulls lead, 3:43 left here in the third.
All right, a 70-61 lead right there. I believe we're going to take a quick timeout and come back and get you out to the Palace of Auburn Hills for the start of our game between the Pistons and the Celtics. Actually, we're not taking a break. Okay, where are we going right now? Just know for sure here. Okay, let's get you out to the Palace of Auburn Hills right now and get you ready for the tip between Detroit and Boston. Enjoy the game. I'll be back at halftime.
The Pistons getting ready to tangle with the Boston Celtics. There's Marco, who did that all ad-lib. Not bad. So my partner on the game plan, brought to you by Dodge.
Well, 46 points per game from Pierce and Ricky Davis. You've got to put a stop on the 2 of them. If you're the Pistons, you want to be patient, work the ball inside and out, just like you did the other night against Charlotte. Boston will allow you that outside shot, but you want to take it on your terms, and then you got to get back. And I mean way back, because Boston will try to run the ball off of everything. Misses, turnovers, it doesn't matter. Made field goals, you have got to get back and stop their transition games.
Pistons have won 8 of the last 9 games between these 2 ball clubs, but as we know from past history, they've played some tight ones. Flip Saunders thinking about this game and thinking about Mom, too. Case Saunders turns 85 years of age today, and he wanted us to pass along happy birthday, Mom, before the tip of this one. Here we go. Wallace and Kendrick Perkins will battle at the center position. Ben won the tap. Delonte West overplayed Chauncey to his left side. Rip on the drive, gave it up to Tayshaun. Back to Rip. Into Ben Wallace. Too hard, rebound LaFrentz. Boston will try to push whenever they can. Perkins on a hook. Rebound to Ben. He's still a work in progress at the offensive end. Rip flies it and hits it. So the Detroiters looking for Hamilton early on here in the first couple of sets. LaFrance in a two-man game with Pierce. Paul Pierce over Rashid, who bothered the shot. Here come the Pistons. Feathered pass for Sheed off his fingertips. Save to Pierce. Boston running 3-on-3. Now 4-on-3. Delonte West tees it up. Long rebound to Pierce. Perkins called for it on the block. Almost coughed it up. A lot of time on the shot clock. Ricky Davis. Misfired. A rebound slapped by LaFrance, but it comes up in the hands of Billups. Glad you're with us here on FSN Detroit and NBA TV. As the Pistons go for win number 30. Hamilton. Rebound to Delonte West. Pushing it hard to the rack.
That's what Boston is really able to do well, and they've shown you twice now that they can get it up the floor very, very fast. And if you're the Pistons, not only do you have to get back, you got to stop the basketball and locate the shooters.
Rip reversing and score.
Just recognition basketball. That was not a play call. Rip's man had his back turned, and Chauncey realized it.
Toss to Pierce. Baseline drive. Nice dish to Perkins. Ball movement here to Davis, but the Piston rotation was there. 5 to shoot. Ben Wallace out on Davis. Ricky Davis nowhere to go. Pierce has to rescue them. A shot at least. No rim. 24-second on the violation.
I want to show you what chemistry can provide. Look at Ricky Davis. His head is turned. Chauncey Billups sees it the whole time, so he'll make the pass right there to Richard Hamilton. Davis never saw the ball. Poor defense, lazy defense.
At the elbow, Rashid. Prince and a hand check foul, Paul Pierce. That'll be his first.
Foul number 34, Paul Pierce. It'll be his first. Team first.
First team foul on the Celtics.
Basketball out on the sideline.
Celtics have lost 7 of their last 10 coming in. Coming off a triple overtime loss to Philly a couple nights ago. Chauncey rises and scores. 6-2. Ben on a one-man press with Billups. 2-on-2. LaFrance inside the arc, and it's down.
Rafe LaFrance, he's the guy for Boston who can help spread the defense. He's very good with that shot from the outside, has three-point range, has the freedom to take it. Good left-hand shooter. You got to be out there on him on the catch.
Rashid came to the ball, has the baseline. Now LaFrance squares up. Sheed in the drive and a reach-in foul on the former Kansas Jayhawk. Hey, who's your choice for the McDonald's Player of the Game? Simply call our toll-free line anytime during the broadcast. Place your guess. If you're the first to match our selection, you win a $25 McDonald's gift card and great FSN apparel. Second Celtic team foul. Bounce feed at the feet of Perkins. It's kicked.
Eventually, Ricky Davis is going to see the basketball. Nearly got victimized again were it not for the kick ball. But that tells you Chauncey Billups is seeing everything. He's seeing the guys he want to get the ball to. He's also seeing how they're being defended when defenders have their heads turned.
Billups sees the rim, misfires. Perkins pulled it off. Pierce cut off by Tayshaun Prince. That'll be a good duel to watch here. Pierce on the left-handed drive showed the quicks. And the foul on Prince.
I want to tell you, Pierce, he's a tough cover because he's always with the basketball, always putting it on the floor, always probing, trying to find an opening. And we talk about his ability to shoot gaps and take advantage of the smallest cracks. So tough assignment today for Tayshaun Prince.
Davis, quick trigger, rebound Sheed. Boston comes in scoring almost 102 a game. Tayshaun with a show and go on the drive. Missed it though. Rebound popped out of bounds off the hand of Rasheed Wallace. No, off Delonte West, they said. So the Pistons keep it. And a brand new shot clock. Flip Saunders, by the way, a magic number of 4 now. Foregone conclusion to coach the Eastern Conference All-Stars in Houston next month.
Yep, whatever plans Flip had for the All-Star break,
forget it.
Cancel him.
Well, his family will have to join him in Houston, that's all. Ben Wallace inside, a bump and a foul. The French picked up his second. Taking a look at the Eastern Conference standings, you see Miami 8 games back. Cleveland lost their most recent game. They're 9.5 back in the Central. And New Jersey 10 back in the Atlantic Division in those overall Eastern Conference standings. And what it is, it's 2 weeks before the All-Star game. Whatever team has the best record in the East and West, those 2 head coaches become the All-Star coaches for the All-Star game.
You know, you are such the numbers man. You are you're a statistician type guy. So tell me this.
Barry Smades taught me well, that's all.
Tell me this. What's the magic number for the Pistons to clinch the Eastern?
Let's see, I'd have to think about that. Probably about 40. I do know this. If they went 500 basketball for the rest of the way, which is not going to happen, they'd have 54 wins.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And a lot of people were predicting they'd win 50 on the year.
That's what this start has done. Mark Blunt now, normally a starter, joins up front for LaFrance, and he scores. Mark Blunt, a much improved offensive player. What they're trying to get him to do now is rebound more. He only gets 4 of those a night.
You know, I'm going to watch it closely, but I think the Pistons were in a zone that last time. It certainly looked like it. Pay attention to that.
Tayshaun against West. His eyes widen as he takes him inside. Shoots over top of him, but couldn't score. West is a good defender, but he gave up so much size. Davis turns the corner, and a reach-in foul is going to come from Chauncey Billups.
Foul number 1, Chauncey Billups.
Chauncey thought he got all basketball.
Boston basketball out of bounds.
This is the first of 5 games the Pistons will play in 7 days, so a very busy week. They'll end the week Sunday night here on FSN against Houston. West fights it up and down. You know, since December 1st, he is the best shooting player, period, in the NBA. Well over 60%, not just among guards.
Well, that tells you he's not shooting just jump shots. He's getting to the basket. He's not afraid to go inside. Pretty good offensive rebounder, too, Delonte West.
Phillips picked up the contact from a fouling Mark Blunt.
You have to give Delonte West credit because he came into this league as an off guard, a 2-guard, guy looking to shoot the basketball, played that way at St. Joe's, but he has made that transition pretty nicely, and you look at that sterling percentage from the floor. He's made the nice transition to a point guard.
Phillips zipped the pass to Hamilton, good catch. On the hard drive, the floater, and it goes. Does anybody shoot that shot any better than he does in the league? 8-all.
I'll answer that, no. No. And it's a very, very difficult shot when you're on the move like that.
Davis gave it up to Blunt. Mark Blunt, nice up and under move. Batted away by Rashid. But a goaltend will give the 2 to Blunt. Let's look at it again.
Well, the problem is that Rashid was right there under the rim. And it was on the way down.
Good call. Sheed would probably concur with that. Well, maybe, if he saw the replay. West closed upon Billups. Single-digit shot clock. Chauncey on the drive. Spins inside, hit the bottom of the iron. It was contested by Blunt as well. West in the hurry-up. Rebound to Hamilton. Good job challenging that by Rashid. Bobbled by Chauncey, otherwise he might have had a layup. And stepping out of bounds was Tayshaun Prince. Time out on the floor. 5.5 left to play here in quarter number 1 at the Palace. The Pistons early on trail the Celtics by 2. Back at the Palace of Auburn Hills, where the Pistons lead the Boston Celtics by a score of 10 to 8. Or shoot, it's the Celtics actually leading 10-8. Sorry about that, with 5.5 left to go here in the first quarter. And a good one as the Pistons look for their 30th victory. You see the youngsters here, job shadowing. A lot of the folks here at the Palace. In fact, the Automotion kids are at it here today. Ryan Field over with a young man who's going to be mentoring or I should say with Ryan today on Kids Day. We got kids at the concession stands and helping to usher. All a part of the big celebration here on Martin Luther King Day. You may have heard Marco give us the player introductions at the start of the game at age 4. 110 kids, by the way, are part of this day, including 6 kids from the city of Detroit. Paul Pierce fires over Tayshaun Prince. So Pierce with his first field goal. Four-point Boston lead, an 8-2 surge here. Up top for Ben Wallace, knocked out of the air by Blunt. Delonte West gave it up for Davis. Boston runs it set now. Good defense by Prince. Avoided the contact, but Pierce with the strength to finish. Paul Pierce lifetime against Tayshaun. We know what kind of defender he is. 25 points a game, so that tells you what kind of tough cover Paul Pierce is. Celtics on this 10-2 surge. Hamilton in traffic. Rebound Perkins. Boston not known for its defense, but right now they're playing it.
But what they do well clogs that middle. They take the middle away. The paint, they collapse in there, and they make it tough to finish near the hoop.
Delonte West showing the range.
And right now, Boston's playing this at their pace. You got to applaud their defense. The Pistons haven't been able to move that basketball. You're not seeing the type of ball movement that you saw just a couple of games, a couple of nights ago against Charlotte.
20-second timeout for Detroit.
Now, here's Paul Pierce with the basketball. Excuse me, Paul Pierce now with the basketball, and it's the threat of that drive that buys him the room to get the shot off. You saw Tayshaun Prince giving a little room there, and then the convincing pump fake. And then here's Delonte West. We talked about him shooting over 60% over, the last 7 or 8 games, and shots like that, and the threat that he might put it on the floor and try and get to the hoop as well has helped him.
Doc Rivers and likens Delonte West to a young Chauncey Billups, learning to play the game and learning to distribute. Over the last 9 meetings between these two teams, Pistons have won 8. And you can see outscoring Boston by over 6 a game. Ben Wallace left open.
See how inside the paint the defense is? Ben Wallace, when he caught it at the free throw line, had a shot.
Billups faked a 3, shoots a 2, but he traveled.
Boston basketball.
It's going to seemingly take the Pistons a minute or 2 to get things worked out here. They've got to figure out a way. And I think, again, the outside shot is there. That's what Boston is offering, but they've got to take it without hesitation. But I think they got to get it inside and at least threaten to go to the basket first. And then things will open up.
A turnover unforced momentarily by Blunt, picked up by West. Screen from Perkins. Davis went opposite. Good catch by Blunt. Then Wallace shadowing. Blunt misfired after he walked. Delonte West with a steal. Found the open man, Davis for 3. Pistons dodged the proverbial bullet there. That would have made it a 19-8 lead for Boston. Billups, stutter step drive in traffic, and he drew the foul. So good at drawing that whistle. He's only been to the line, though, twice in the last 2 games.
Yeah, that's uncharacteristic, especially when Chauncey is so good at creating contact and working himself to the free throw line, but he did it well that time. Gave body to the defender, got his contact, and then nearly finished the play for a 3-point opportunity.
Antonio McDyess checks in, coming off a season-best game the other night against the Charlotte Bobcats. He had 18. A much improved Milwaukee Bucks visit the Palace for the first time this season on Wednesday, January 25th. TJ Ford, Michael Redd and company coming to town. Get your tickets by calling 248-377-0100 or log on to Pistons.com. And right now, the Milwaukee Bucks, a definite playoff team, the way they're playing basketball this season. Billups with a pair of strokes as Sheed gets his first rest. 6-point deficit. Paul Pierce spinning into a pass. That's Perkins. against Ben Wallace, and he hit the hook.
Perkins was strong with the basketball that time. Ben swiped at it a few times unsuccessfully. Perkins protected the basketball with his body that time before elevating for the jump hook. Nice job.
Hamilton on the drive against Blunt. Blocked by Perkins on the help out.
He's their version of Ben Wallace, or so they say.
Delonte West knocks it down.
Yeah. Once again, transition basketball. Boston's defense has been stellar. Pistons can't get anything at the basket.
Crowd getting a little antsy right now, even though it's early. Can't blame him. Phillips rises. Missed a 3 ball.
That was better, but the ball has to move against a defense that's collapsing into the paint. You must move it.
Ricky Davis dropped it off inside, stolen by McDyess. Chauncey. Threw another whistle. He'll shoot 2 more. Pistons only shooting 30% from the floor right now. 4 out of 13. Meanwhile, Paul Pierce has led a balanced attack so far. 5 different Celtics have scored. And then the defensive rejection by Kendrick Perkins. Celtics mean business. We'll be back.
Hi, this is Chauncey Billups of the Detroit Pistons. Martin Luther King Day means to me a day of peace, a day of equality, and that's everything that Dr. Martin Luther King stood for.
Well, Chauncey and the rest of the NBA celebrating this holiday. This is one of 11 games around the league, including 8 matinee affairs. Pistons and Celtics battling here. Meanwhile, for the starting Piston group, this is number 35 in a row. And you can see the wide gap between the Pistons and the next group with the Atlanta Hawks. Starters who have played successive games, a difference of 20.
And you know the reason why that number isn't even larger for the Pistons, you may remember towards the end of last season, last couple of games, Larry Brown opting to rest Ben Wallace, Richard Hamilton taking a night off. So that was the only reason why that streak isn't longer.
And of course, it speaks to the chemistry that these guys had. And have had really since day one, since Rashid came to town in that trade, that 3-way trade at the deadline a couple of seasons ago. What a difference that man has made, making everybody better. He may not make the All-Star team, but certainly he's an All-Star in the minds of the Piston players. And has been an All-Star, of course, in the past, in his days with the Portland Trail Blazers. 20-12.
You know, Flip before the game was saying that, you know, in guarding Paul Pierce, they really got to try and get help. I love it when he says you want to make him see the name on the jersey. So we'll see if the Pistons can get better help on Pierce while defending everyone else.
Ben Wallace says, see that, see the hand.
See if they can come out of Flip's last time out with better defense. We saw it there, but better ball movement. They've got to move that ball against this Boston suffocating defense in the paint area.
McDyess facing up when Al Jefferson is checked in. Dice fires. Rebound scraped out of there by Paul Pierce. Delonte West, a quick trigger. Man, is he on fire.
Yeah, but you know what the Pistons are not doing right now? They are not matching up in transition. Yeah, they're getting back, but getting back and guarding no one right now. And Boston is making them pay with these early opportunity looks.
McDyess flared to the corner. Open J. Rattled out. Here comes Ricky Davis. Celtics with a 10-point lead. They led here by 13 in their November trip here. And the Pistons had a big second half to win. Mark Blunt in traffic. Stripped by McDyess. All basketball. Billups on the hard drive with the left hand. And a finish and a foul.
You mentioned that Chauncey had only been to the line twice in his last couple of games, but he's making up for it now and really attacking the basket and helping the Pistons offensively. Ben Wallace, this was right after the last timeout, one-on-one against Blunt, denying him right there. And then here's Chauncey, smartly taking advantage of the gap right there, all the way to the hoop, and this time he does get that three-point opportunity.
Doc Rivers says that's the biggest part of Chauncey's game over the years, has developed his ability to go to left, and that's what he's trying to get Delonte West to learn, to be able to go right and left. And he says early on, that's why Chauncey was traded a lot, because he was more of a one-way player. So we know what has happened since he has become a Piston. Orion Green checks in now off the bench. Final seconds of this opening quarter. Pistons should get the ball back. Pierce, the step back. Rattles out to Prince. Got to hurry. Payne knows it. 42-footer. Some iron and some gasps as we close the first quarter here at the Palace of Auburn Hills. Celtics always seem to come in here and play very tough basketball. One quarter in the books on Martin Luther King Day.
We'd like to treat you to some free Martin Luther King Kids Day celebrations. Brought to you by Sprite. Now into the joint lineup number 30, Carlos Arroyo.
Let's start the second quarter here at the Palace. Pistons and Boston Celtics. The guys in green with the basketball. Orion Green at the point, the rookie. Knock away Ben Wallace. Retrieved by Ricky Davis. Step out by McDyess. Deflection Arroyo. That's Tony Allen in for the first time tonight. Rebound inside Jefferson. And he was fouled.
Wow.
Al Jefferson has sort of been in the doghouse recently. That's a good way to get out of it.
It certainly is. Was starting for a period of time, but has lost that spot since. And Doc Rivers' confidence fading, feels that he hasn't had the effort. How about that? Well, he certainly had it on this play, rebounding in a crowd, showing strength, and getting a three-point chance.
So Jefferson, whom they have high hopes for in his second year, makes it a three-point play. He gives them almost 8 points a game, but recently has struggled. 25-15 Boston. Reese Evans off the Pistons bench. So Wallace and Hamilton, the lone starters out there, that being Ben. Ben drew a double. Spins baseline. Couldn't finish, though. A tap doesn't go. McDyess couldn't control the rebound. And right now, the loose basketball is going the way of the Celtics. Jefferson. And he lost the basketball. Pistons get it back.
Pistons basketball.
Doc Rivers was glowing in praise for the Pistons in the 29-5 start. Of course, he's got an all-star vote, along with the rest of the Eastern Conference coaches who will vote for the reserves coming up.
Well, didn't he say that he would be giving his vote to Richard Hamilton and Chauncey Billups earlier this year?
Sure did. McDyess faces. Rebound, Ben!
Ben Wallace was only about elbow high to the rim and was off the floor before any Celtic could think about jumping that time.
Jefferson in traffic. Ben got a piece of it, but also a foul to boot. On the arm, says Ron Aliciak.
Rebounding is really about positioning. Now, if you can jump to the moon, that certainly helps. Look at Ben. He has got the position. He is well inside, and there's that elbow I was telling you about, up on the rim. That was nice. Great shot. Great shot.
Great job, guys. That really showed how high he got off the floor.
That was my point. Great camera shot. Nicely done. We need to send some of our camera people to the All-Star game.
Those 2 points, by the way, the first from the Pistons front court this afternoon. So Jefferson has 5 quick points in the second quarter. Celtics back to their 10-point pad.
Boston with some token pressure here. Designed only to force the Pistons to use a little bit more clock, bringing it up before they can get into their offensive set.
Arroyo wide open. Rebound to Blunt. Orion Green jumps. Still struggling with that part of his game, as you can see. Saved to Allen, though. Jefferson called for it against Rashid. And he shuffled the shoot.
See, I think what you're seeing with Jefferson right now is a young man who's pressing. You know, he is trying to make an impact. He's trying to get back into the good graces of his coaching staff. As a result, he's making mistakes out there. trying to do things that he perhaps should stay away from, and that's putting the ball on the floor from that far out, trying to spin and dribble.
So the turnover count for the Pistons certainly much too high. Coming in at just a little more than 11 per game. Ball goes off the foot of Richard Hamilton. Well, Al Jefferson has been in and out of Doc Rivers' rotation, but he's come up with 5 points, and Doc says, look, if I were coaching in Detroit and at Al, I don't even know if he'd be playing that much at all because of all the veteran guys that they have. He's getting playing time for me because we have such a young team, but he's been in and out of the lineup. Hop inside, Allen in the finish.
Well, right now, Boston able to get to the basket. I mean, they're wearing that paint out. Time after time, they're getting point-blank opportunities. Flip Saunders can't be happy about it. Their help defense, too, is non-existent. Got to improve.
Very unlike these Pistons. You know they'll get it corrected, but right now, in a 12-point hole. Point lead, getting some help off the bench, as we mentioned and showed you Al Jefferson, of course, with 5 points. Let's go back to that quote from Doc Rivers, because he's been receiving some heat in Boston for his unstable rotation. Jefferson has started 7 games, and again, if I were coaching in Detroit and had Al, I don't know they'd be playing much at all from today's Boston Herald. Conversely, he says, another 20-year-old, Darko Milicic, the difference between us and Detroit is that if Darko was in Boston, he'd probably be playing. So a lot of times, of course, Greg, it means where a rookie winds up in terms of how much playing time he gets.
Yeah, no question about it. I mean, there are a lot of guys who are getting considerable time in this league who would have a hard time cracking the lineup. Heck, there's some guys here on the Pistons team on their own bench, you know, getting minutes, like the guy with the ball right now. Used to be a starter, but on this team plays about 13 minutes a game.
So let's see how the Pistons respond out of the timeout. A holding foul on Mark Blunt in the post. First team foul on Boston in the quarter. His second. Trying to get Blunt to be more of a defensive force, which he really should be at 7 feet. He's been working on his offensive game so much.
I think the Pistons are going to start looking to get the ball inside to Rasheed Wallace or Antonio McDyess to try to get something going on the inside against Boston.
Sheed backing Blunt down. Has to hurry. Let it go, but not in time. A 24-second violation.
It'll be the Boston Celtics basketball.
Hey, Blunt was tough that time. Did not give up any ground. Rasheed caught that ball about 14 feet from the basket and never improved his position.
Doc Rivers has been preaching to this club all season long about the defense aspect of their game that must improve, and right now they're forcing 7 turnovers, so he's got to love that. Blunt in deep, and a hook goes. He's got 6, and the lead is 14. Pistons in the mud at 29% on the offensive end. A 9-2 surge, 2-man game. Blocked by Blunt on the McDyess attempt. Celtics came into the ball game 12th in the league in rejection. Five to shoot. Blunt, and he traveled. Wasn't Blunt's fault. Nobody really got themselves open. He still wanted him to pass the ball there, though, didn't he?
He wanted to pass the ball, but I'll give the Pistons some credit that time. Everybody was up, denying, would not let their man get the basketball. So Blunt eventually traveled, trying to get something done well out from the basket where he's unaccustomed to being.
Rip Hamilton fires. Yes, sir. Maybe this is where the Pistons will flip the light switch. They've done it so many times, turning a big deficit into a quick lead themselves. So the Celtics keep it. Chauncey Billups and Carlos Delfino on the floor, replacing Arroyo and Hamilton. Pierce and West getting a rest right now, liking what they see. On the cut. Allen on the hard cut. Couldn't lose anybody. Ricky Davis for 3. Too short. Rebound to Allen.
They seem to be getting the long rebounds. A lot of hustle points going Boston's way right now.
Blunt in the post. Knocked away by Rashid. And a reach-in foul, Orion Green. Foul number 2 on the Bostonians in the quarter.
You know, Boston certainly feeling coming in that they owed Detroit twice, losing that game at the buzzer against the Pistons in Boston early in the season, and then blowing a 13-point lead here a short while later. This is their last chance. Last regular season game against the Pistons.
And right now, Boston 10th in the East. They're 2.5 games out of that 8th and final playoff spot as we near the halfway mark of the season. Knock away Blunt. He's been all over the place defensively. Phillips. Another whistle. Chauncey goes back to the line for 2 more, so at least he's getting to the line this afternoon. Unlike the 2 games prior that we mentioned where he only had 2 free throws.
Well, you've heard us talk about it a lot. Chauncey Billups and his ability to use his body to create a little contact. He got it. He goes, make sure he gets contact. He knows where defenders are coming from, and he knows that if he can get contact while in the air, he's going to get the benefit of that contact and get to the free throw line.
I wonder what the Celtics brass, though, thinks every time they watch Chauncey Billups, their own first-round draft pick, light it up. Don't forget it. He was a lottery choice of this club.
They probably think the same thing that Denver thinks, that Toronto thinks, that Orlando thinks.
Celtics had some company.
I won't say Minnesota. He had some nice. He had a nice year or 2 there.
Paul Pierce back on the floor against Delfino. That was a nightmare matchup for Delfino early on this season. Orion Green knocked it down.
So much balance to Boston's attack right now. They're playing the way the Pistons played the other night against Charlotte. Inside, out, patience, running the basketball, high percentage shots.
Phillips all the way to the hole. Zip the pass to Delfino. Squares up for 3. Carlos Delfino with his 3rd tray of the season.
Well, there was some inside-out activity for the Pistons, and it's coming off of Chauncey Billups, who, Fred, is starting to get penetration when he wants it.
The drop-off stolen by Delfino. Cleaned up by Shee. Pistons down 9 as they go back to work. Not yet halfway through the second quarter. Step out by Blunt. 10 to shoot. Not much happening here. Good perimeter defense. And we have a timeout called by Boston, so they believe that Jefferson got enough of the possession. Flip Saunders is saying we should have a jump ball. We'll be back. Carlos Delfino with time to set his feet and knock it down. We'll be back in a moment. 33-24 our score, halfway through the second quarter.
Ryan Fitt with you back here at the Palace with the Celtics lead 33-24 for the Pistons, as the Pistons are finding out maybe the Celtics aren't as bad as their record indicates. They're 14-22, but they're tops in the league in field goal percentage, 6th in scoring. On top of that, 7 of their losses this season have come in the final seconds, including that 1-point loss to the Pistons back in November. But the bottom line, says Doc Rivers, hey, there's no moral victories in this league. We got to start playing better defense if we want to turn this thing around, Fred.
That's the name of the game, and Doc, of course, who was such a fine defender as a player in this league, a point guard, of course, in 13 years, knows all about what it takes to become a winner playing at the defensive end of the floor. But 47% doesn't get it done. Paul Pierce spinning on Delfino. Good job moving his feet. And Paul Pierce traveled.
Hey,
so the second shuffling of the shoes gives it back to Detroit.
Delfino's done a nice job defensively since coming in. Yeah, he knocked down that 3 a moment ago, but he helped get a turnover earlier on a knockaway, and then that time successfully defended Paul Pierce. That's a big part of the reason why Delfino is seeing more action.
Delonte West back at the point now. Delfino fires and hits. Carlos with a couple of buckets.
He'll just continue to endear himself to Flip Saunders with play like that. He has sparked the Pistons and helped their offense since coming onto the floor.
And the Pistons answer with a 9-2 run of their own. Many people wonder if the Pistons have enough perimeter scoring off the bench. Carlos Delfino says, absolutely. Let me take some shots and let me knock them down. He certainly has that potential.
Well, Fred, this is the thing that's so tough when teams come in to play the Pistons. You know, they They've caused the Pistons starters to struggle. But then you come off the bench with a guy like Carlos Delfino, usually the 8th guy onto the floor for the Pistons. And he helps them, changes the complexion of the game, the pace of the game, and he's done all of that in just 3 minutes of action. So just a deep team that's tough to handle sometimes.
So right now, a better scoreboard for Detroit basketball and a 7-point gap. They were down 14. LaFrentz is back out there with his 2 fouls. Look at Delfino work defensively. Pierce, Carlos right there with him. Tough shot, Paul Pierce, he earned it.
That was good defense, and that's all you can ask as a defender. He got a hand up, forced him to take a tough shot. Pierce is just so talented, he put it down.
Rashid, inside, off the delivery from Phillips. Hard cut by Sheed. His first bucket, though, 35-28. Phillips with 5 dishes already. Pistons body language a lot better right now. They're into it. Pierce couldn't lose Delfino. Again, he got away with a left-hand nudge. Tony Allen tees it up for 3. Rebounded Delfino.
Get a sense that the Pistons are starting to come around both ends of the floor here.
McDyess shows, goes inside, and a blocking foul on the Celtics inside the arc. Drawn by, I believe, Paul Pierce. It is.
Foul number 34 for Boston.
So there's a couple of things to consider here. When you're successful on the offensive end, then you put even more pressure on Boston because they can't comfortably come down and set their defense after a made field goal. When you've got to hurry and get back, scramble to match up, your defense is not going to be as strong. And we're starting to see that with the Pistons.
Phillips turned the corner. She gave it up wisely. Mo Evans, open look for 3. She had a 3, but he passed it up for a better opportunity, 35-31.
Well, you see what the Pistons are doing. They are moving the ball much better than they were the first quarter, early part of the second quarter. Boston's having its issues now defensively.
Keep watching Delfino battle Pierce. Hand off to West. Fights it up. No. Rebound to McDyess. Good challenge by Phillips defensively. Pistons have finally taken the Celtics out of their comfort zone. A 14-4 surge here. Phillips on the pass to Sheed. Good catch. And a steal by LaFrentz. Down the floor, Davis. Pass behind him. West forced that one. Delfino feels it. Wide open. Down for 3. Carlos Delfino with his best quarter as a Piston with 8. 35-34.
He's definitely making it happen. He's responsible for this resurgence.
Evans challenges shot of Ricky Davis. Davis is 0 for 4. Crowd into it now. Phillips. The pass. Evans for the lead.
Hey, give Mo some love, too. Pistons bench led by Delfino and Evans have got the Pistons back into the lead here.
This is a 19-4 spanking the Pistons are administering. Look at Evans dig in against Davis. Everything's being contested now. Crowd wants more. Paul Pierce fights it up and down. Pierce looks for a 3-point play.
Hey, let's go back to our open. We said this guy is as good as anybody in the half court at feeling the defense and working off of that. But how about Carlos Delfino? How about Maurice Evans, both off the Pistons bench, doing it right now?
Well, it's indeed Kids Day, and they're enjoying what's going on right now. This Pistons surge. They trail the Celtics by 1, but after being down 14, it looks a lot better. But how about Carlos Delfino in this quarter? 8 points, including a couple of trays, Greg.
Well, once again, his defense is what has caused the coaching staff to feel comfortable putting him into the game, putting him on Paul Pierce. His defense has been solid, but it is his offense that has been a big part of the Pistons getting back into it with shots like that, catching it in rhythm, wide open, and shooting it confidently. 3 for 3 today, getting a little nudge, and hey, how about some more playing time from head coach Flip Saunders?
Well, he feels healthy this year. As we know, he struggled with the knee surgeries last year, was really in a quandary in how to deal with it. Went back to Argentina for the surgery with his own doctor, and now is 100%, and we're seeing the fruits of that. Everybody in this organization believes in him, that's for sure. And he could be monumental for this club in the second half of the season. 38-36 off the Pierce three-point play. Delfino. Luckily, it got through to Evans. Intended for McDyess. 7 to shoot, plenty of time. Step out, good show by LaFrance. Delfino, I mean a deep three. Rebound Sheet. Billups. The jab step into Delonte West, who stays with him. They're going to Delfino a lot here. They string him out, Boston does. Open man McDyess for 2. What's good about Carlos right now, Greg, he's playing with a lot of the starters. That's got to help him.
Oh, it always does when you come off the bench. The opportunity to get a play with starters, that helps your confidence. And the other thing, the Pistons spreading the floor nicely now, making Boston have to defend a large area.
Ball Pierce. Delfino got basketball and a jump ball. I don't know if you recall early last season when Boston came in here in a preseason game and Paul Pierce lit him up. But this shows the improvement.
Well, he's moving, cutting him off. Look at that, just great anticipation. He is not allowing Paul Pierce to really work off of his body, which Paul Pierce does so well. He'll feel you and then spin the other way, and there's little you can do to recover, but Delfino got it done that time.
So Delfino at 6'6", going against Pierce. Won by Boston. 38 all tie.
Short shot clock.
Delonte West realized it. Finally missed one. Rebound controlled by Rashid. Leaking down the floor, Delfino didn't get it. It would have been a tough pass for Chauncey Billups to navigate. Here comes a screen from McDyess and Sheet. Chauncey back to Rashid. Tees it up for 3. Down! 41-38 Detroit.
Nobody wants to take the basketball out. Boston is come unglued here, folks. All 5 guys ran down floor. Doc Rivers had to get up in motion. Hey, somebody take the ball out.
That's kind of basic, isn't it?
Doesn't get any more basic than that.
Delfino too physical that time with Pierce. Under a minute to play here in the half. What a lift Carlos has given him.
You know, the thing about Detroit, you can hold them for a while, but eventually they explode on you. Boston's been there before. Remember their 13-point lead dissolved last time they were here in this building. They ended up losing by 15. But they're in one of those surges right now.
High screen roll. Good show by Sheet. Pierce. That's a tough foul for Carlos Delfino. He was moving his feet. It was really good defense.
The thing about Carlos Delfino, you don't want to back off. You want to still be as aggressive as you are because you're somewhat expendable. You can use your fouls. You're not going to worry about fouling out. So be as aggressive as you possibly can on Paul Pierce.
That would have been a good no call there because Pierce, if anything, initiated the contact. Delfino was squared up moving with him, but picked up the call. Paul Pierce is saying, hey, I was bumped. I deserved to get to the free throw line. Perennially, a guy that gets to the line more than most in this league. 41-40 is the Piston lead. Billups was trapped. Good catch by McDyess. Billups missed a high-rising 3. Rebound to Paul Pierce. Now the Celtics will try to take the lead. Pistons could get it back in excess of 3 seconds on game-over shot. Ricky Davis has the ball. He is yet to score. Knocked away Rashid. Off the leg of Ricky Davis. So 7 seconds to go, 94 feet. Doc Rivers is going to make a quick defensive substitution. Justin Reed will check in.
Now, Paul Pierce has 2 fouls, so you don't want to see him get an El Cheapo with 7 seconds to go in the half. So that's a good substitution. Get him out of there.
Here comes Arroyo. Carlos spinning to the right. No! Did everything but finish it. And that will finish a spirited first half. The Pistons with a 1-point lead after they were down by 14, and Carlos Delfino helped with his 8-point explosion. Fans, stay tuned for a sneak peek of Big Mama's House 2, starring Martin Lawrence, in theaters January 27th. Well, Carlos Delfino certainly helping the Pistons in that second quarter surge, knocking down a couple of trays, really look confident.
Well, Chauncey Billups, give him a lot of credit for helping him to get that confidence. He gave him the basketball time and again, and in his rhythm, able to come off screen, shooting, looking. This was a nice one where he was able to get up to the three-point line, or maybe 3 feet behind it, and launch. But also, kudos for the defense that Delfino was able to provide on Paul Pierce.
Rock Financial shooting the rock. You see the 2 trays, one in front of the bench. So Delfino off to a good start. He's had 2 games this season better than 8 points. Overall, 10 and 9. So certainly a good chance to have a season-high performance in points. Let's start the third quarter now. Boston with the basketball. They're starting 5 intact. Pierce on the runner. Missed it. Rebounder Tayshaun Prince. Usual 5 out there for Detroit. Boston counters with West and Davis in the backcourt. Up front, Perkins, LaFrance, and Pierce. She to catch and shoot for 2. Very much in rhythm, 43-40. Pistons' biggest lead this afternoon has been 4. That was very early on. Kendrick Perkins. Trying to muscle Wallace. Threw up a line driver, and Ben with the Rock defense and the rebound.
That's because Ben wouldn't allow him to get any closer to the basket. That was a tough jump hook he had to attempt.
Chauncey Billups went away in the post, set the screen for Ben. West has to pick him up. Ben goes to work.
Wow.
How wide did his eyes widen when he saw West on it? 45-40. A 28-9 explosion going back to the second quarter for Detroit. 28-9. Pierce. Wallace there helping and rebounding. Ahead of the pack, pass stolen by West, intended for Billups. Pierce, a bump and a foul on Ben Wallace, who will argue.
Here's some miscommunication defensively for Boston. Delonte West is going to end up on Ben. But look, he's going to try and go back to Chauncey, as will Perkins, and nobody stayed with the man with the basketball. Look at this. Both go to Chauncey, and Ben says, I'll take that.
I guess you wouldn't use that if you're teaching defense on tape. Delonte West knocks it down. His first hoop since the opening quarter. He's got 12. 45-42. Tayshaun from the baseline.
That's his first field goal, Fred, and I think he's been consumed trying to stop Pierce. It's taken away from his offensive tendencies. That's just his 4th shot attempt of the game.
Pierce out high. LaFrance has that kind of range. Drains a 3. Remember earlier this year he had a game when he had 7 trays in one ball game. So Rafe LaFrance has 5. 47-45. Ben Wallace out high, behind his back. Rip fires, open look for 2. So give Richard Hamilton 10 on 5 of 8 shooting the ball. Came in at 50% from the floor for the season. Perkins inside.
Wow, West really set him up for that. That started with West getting penetration. And you want to try to stop guards from getting deep into the lane. Chauncey Billups knows that.
Billups went opposite the screen. Sheet flared, missed the 3 ball. Rebound of Paul Pierce on position. Celtics looking for the tie or maybe even the lead here. West to drop off to Perkins. 49 all. Another delivery to the big fella. Perkins, one of those guys drafted out of high school. In fact, the Celtics' last 3 #1 picks have been high schoolers. Hamilton, and he was fouled off the curl. Ricky Davis picks it up.
Number 12, Ricky Davis. His first, team first.
So Rip for 2 here.
32 jersey, Rip Hamilton.
Don't forget, the Milwaukee Bucks come to town with Andrew Bogut, the #1 pick in last year's draft, and of course Michael Redd, TJ Ford and company. 248-377-0100, or you can visit Pistons.com. You can also go to Pistons.com to punch in your all-star votes. Richard Hamilton certainly ought to get a lot of votes in this town and really all over the NBA. Rip makes twice. In fact, Doc Rivers says that he would vote for all 5 Piston starters. How about that? And will when he punches his ballot for the All-Stars. How about that? All 5, he says. That's how much respect he has for this group. Right for France. Way short. Rebound of Billups. Prince fires. That hits.
I think it's a good idea for Tayshaun Prince to get offensively aggressive, because that even helps in your effort to guard a guy like Pierce. You make him expend energy on the defensive end.
Beaten up inside by Rashid, but there's some contact and a foul. They may have to reinflate the basketball after that one.
Delonte West will challenge. We told you he loves getting into that lane. He is not fearful of big people. He got that rejected. He got that rejected.
And the contact, they say, coming from Rashid in the lane-in with a body.
At the line for Boston.
Well, he got that rejected.
Let's see if the ball lies here or not. West at the line, an 82%er. And West makes the first. She's not too happy with that call. Got him with a lower body, although it did look like West had leaned into him. But usually the shooter's going to get that call. And Delonte did. 53-51 is the Piston lead. Rashid in the post. You could tell he wanted it. Back in LaFrentz down. Spins on him, fights it up, and he'll shoot twice.
So veteran play call there. Rashid, questionable foul call on him a moment ago. So he wants it in the post. He asks for it, and he does the smart thing. Takes his momentum to the basket instead of fading away or taking a shot from the outside. He knew that if he got contact, the probability of getting to the free throw line would be high.
LaFrentz picked up his 3rd foul. You can call 1-866-9-PLAYER for our McDonald's Player of the Game. If your selection should be chosen, you could win a $25 McDonald's gift card and great FSN apparel. Tune in our next telecast Sunday against Houston to see if you have won. (55-51). LaFrentz on a pick and roll. Here comes West. On the cut, Pierce. Beautiful basketball there. That's old-time Celtic hoops there.
And it was patience, too, because West could have forced it. LaFrentz could have forced it. But the patience paid off as they got a cutter, Pierce, right down the lane.
Here comes Billups on a spin move. The lefty comes up shy. Rebound swallowed up by the guys in green. Celtics again in a tight one, trailing by 2. LaFrentz for the lead. Nobody was hurt on that bank.
Is that a cinder block, Fred?
Whew. That was hard. On the cut. Rip against Davis. Shoots over and scores. Richard Hamilton with a tough bucket. He's got 12. And how long can the Pistons keep Ricky Davis off the score sheet? Still he scores. And right away, he draws a foul. Non-shooting. It'll be the third team foul on the Pistons.
Keep in mind, Ricky Davis averages 20 points a game. He and Paul Pierce combined for 46, but he has not been a factor. Look at that big 0 today so far.
He played heavy minutes a day and a half ago when they went triple overtime.
Got 33.
Yeah, he's second in the league in minutes played. Pierce off the glass. So Paul Pierce has 13.
He has all the moves, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he has the up and unders, he has the pump fakes, he has the sliders, the gliders, the runners, the leaners. He has the whole repertoire.
He's just so long with his stride and his reach. Step out on a foul of fronts. That'll be his fourth. He'll head right to the bench. Timeout comes with 5:48 to play, and a good one here at the Palace. A matinee affair. Paul Pierce keeping his gang in it. They are down 2. It's a 2-point game. Pistons leading the Celtics 57-55 as the Celts really pushing the Pistons to the limit here at the Palace. Paul Pierce been a big part of it with 13 points so far.
You know, Fred, he just became the 10th leading scorer in Boston Celtic history. If you look at the 9 players ahead of him and the rings that they have garnered, that's 48 total championships combined. Now, there was some debate. Should Paul Pierce be considered one of the Boston Celtics greats because he doesn't have a ring? Well, Tommy Heinsohn, who himself has 8 rings as a player, 2 as a coach, he broadcasts now for the Celtics, says absolutely, with or without the rings, he should be considered one of the all-time greats.
Yeah, because, you know, those guys, those teams had more talent around them than Paul Pierce has had. Now, there's been some talk in Boston, will they possibly trade him? And Pierce, for the first time in his career, said, yeah, I would consider it, I would be open to it, which is sacrilegious in Boston because he's been really such a popular player in that town.
You know, I spent some time talking to him before the game. I asked him about that very thing. Do you want to leave Boston? Are you ready to go? Do you feel like you've reached your limit there? He thought about it for a minute and he said, well, it's not something that I can control. But no, I'd really like to stay. He says, I've been here so long now, I'd like to finish my career in Boston. But he ended it again by saying, but it's not under my control.
Rashid in the post. Too easy. Over Kendrick Perkins. And she suddenly has 9. Remember, he had a scoreless first quarter, 59-55. Mark Blunt is back out there replacing LaFrance. Ricky Davis couldn't control it, otherwise he might have had a layup for his first 2. Blunt against Hamilton. And a touch foul, actually a good one for Richard Hamilton there because that was a tough mismatch.
Foul number 32, Richard Hamilton.
His second foul.
Yes, sir.
So now the next one on Detroit will put Boston in the bonus.
Boston. Basketball out of bounds.
Pierce on a switch picked up by Ben Wallace. Tayshaun leaning on Kendrick Perkins. They go to the big fella. Perkins muscling, elbowing, scoring on the way down.
Now the difference that time and the last time he had a jump hook attempt, he was much closer and was able to throw that thing on a downward trajectory and get it to go. Remember earlier, Ben Wallace pushed him out about 2 or 3 feet farther and he was unsuccessful on the shot.
In the quarter, Boston doing a good job. Pistons even better shooting the ball. They go back to Sheed for a 3rd time in the post. Turns off the glass. Keep feeding until they can stop it, right?
One more of those and I'm going to have to say it's stealing.
Pick and roll. Perkins inside. Nice body adjustment. Kendrick Perkins, a much improved player.
They liken him to Ben Wallace because they say, hey, he can block shots, he can rebound, and right now they're getting him involved in that Boston offense.
Well, he gives them some toughness inside. Now he's defending Rashid. Chauncey for 3. Rims out to Perkins. Celtics again with a chance to tie our lead. Pierce in deep, knock away. Ben Wallace intended for Blunt. Lead feed intended for Tayshaun. Knocked away by Pierce. 11th miscue for the Detroiters.
Look at Ben.
Now Wallace reclaims Blunt. Delonte West gave it up. Davis a bobble. He's just out of sync today. 5 to shoot. Davis fires. Nowhere near. Rebound Pierce. Deflected pass to Perkins. Skip feed. West called for it. Squares up. Boston's in front.
That was a nice job by Perkins. So tall. Sort of reminds you of Rasheed Wallace that time in the way he kept the ball high and got that skip pass over the top of the defense, which bought Delonte West time to get a shot off.
Celtics not at all playing like a club that is 8 games under 500. Hamilton gets the 2. He was 14.
He is wearing Davis out right now. This is a one-sided matchup. Richard Hamilton and Ricky Davis right now.
Billups got a piece of that one. So Boston able to keep the possession. Shot clock at 10. Good one here at the Palace with a Piston 1-point lead. Blunt has that kind of range now. Missed it. Rebound Sheet. Billups and West. Now we'll get a screen from Sheet. Rolls inside. Back to the post. 2 more.
All right. It is officially stealing. And the Pistons should continue to try to get the ball inside the Rasheed because they haven't come close to guarding him on that left box.
The Special K 4-bucket rule. If you go to the Webster's Dictionary under stealing, you will see that.
Exactly right. I mean, they're not challenging him for the position. They're letting him walk right down there and get it.
Davis. Perkins. Inside, fights it up. Offensive foul. We called him an offensive work in progress. That showed it there. But Rasheed Wallace doing major damage on the post.
Once. Twice.
3 times.
Pistons by 3. We'll be back.
Well, we've been talking about this. Pistons' home sellout streak now has reached 103 games. You can get in line for next year right now by placing a deposit for 06-07 season tickets. Your deposit also gets you playoff priority for this year. Call 248-377-0100 or log on to Pistons.com. Let's check the Pistons' upcoming schedule, brought to you by the Romani Eye Institute on Wednesday. As they start a 2-game road trip, they'll be on WB20 in Atlanta. Then Thursday on TNT against Larry Brown's Knicks. And then Sunday here on FSN Detroit, we'll have the Pistons and the Rockets beginning at 5:30 from the Palace of Auburn Hills. 5 games and 7 nights for the Detroiters. Well, Tommy Hearns knows all about being tough, and let's check our wall side windows. Work in the window. Pistons rebounding margin at home, better than 5 a game, and so far today, not quite that. 24-21 right now. Carlos Delfino's back in the ballgame. See if we can pick up where he left off. Sheet, tough shot. Oh, and it went! He is feeling it. A 10-point quarter for Rasheed.
He's getting full extension on those shots.
Pierce against Delfino, continuing that battle. Paul Pierce. He got bailed out again. You can see Delfino's expression saying, how else can I play him that way?
The reason why I say Rasheed is getting full extension on this shots, look, the defense is right there on him. But by keeping that ball high and shooting it at the absolute peak of his reach, there's nothing that they can do to defend it.
That takes strength, doesn't it?
Well, he's a strong guy. He has incredible strength in those arms. You know, he's one of those guys who can get a shot off without getting a whole lot of leg lift.
I want to correct that. Sheet has 12 in the quarter. He's got 17 now, not 15. So 12 in this third quarter. 67-63. Thanks to our producer, Jeff Bile, for pointing that out. Coming up in a minute to play in the third quarter.
Oh, look at Rasheed getting a double team now.
Not again. Finally missed one. Ben Wallace battling for the rebound. And Boston gets it.
See, now something is developing that the Pistons can take advantage of because, you know, Rasheed's got Boston's attention now. If you choose to throw it into the post, they may opt to double, and that means it'll be an opportunity somewhere for someone else who's wide open.
West cut off by Billups. Johnson's doing a good job denying penetration in this half. Blunt fires. Rebound, Pierce took it away from Delfino, who had position. No look pass. Pierce probably got too cute with that one. Rasheed tees it up. Good look for 3. The onslaught continues. 15 in the quarter for Rasheed. 20 for the game. 70-63. Here comes Pierce off the screen. Hit the tough shot. Hand in his face.
I mean, really tough shot because he was leaning as well with a hand in his face. But he can hit tough shots.
70-65. Pistons will try to virtually take the final shot of the third quarter. In excess of about a second plus on game over shot. Sheed again feeling it. Oh my! 3 more! Here comes West at the horn, no. But the basket right now looks about as big as Orchard Lake. We'll be back on Martin Luther King Day. Rasheed Wallace picked up where Chauncey Billups left off when these two teams last hooked up in November here at the Palace. And the post doing much of his damage, and then he went outside.
Right now, the 6'11" Rasheed Wallace playing 7'5" with those long arms, but then he moves it out beyond the arc. And I can't believe that Kendrick Perkins decided to give him room on that last shot. And Rasheed, terrific quarter with 18 points.
And a knockaway by Mark Blunt. Here comes Davis. Gave it up to Tony Allen, who checks in to start the fourth quarter along with Al Jefferson in the substitution pattern for Doc Rivers. Jefferson for a screen. Davis just looks so tentative this afternoon. Jefferson almost walked. She blocked him. He released the pressure and then snuffed it. And then Billups picks up a foul from Davis.
Well, Rasheed is showing you the whole package with a little help from Ben Wallace from behind. You call this the stereo job, right, Fred?
Yep. 2 for the price of 1.
That's where you get it in both ears.
Foul on number 30.
Mark Blunt picks up a foul. His third.
It'll be his third. Team second.
Now what a quarter for Rasheed. 18 in the third. And Chauncey Billups 17 in the third against this team in the last meeting here at the Palace. How about that? Delfino tees it up for 3. Down! He's hit 3 of those babies today. Carlos with 11. His season high of points. (76-65). Mark Blunt. Look at Ben, keep him at bay. Blunt. Oh, and a body foul on Ben Wallace. Carlos Delfino knocking down the tray. And watch what happens when he runs down the floor. The teammates jokingly call him thumbs because he runs with his thumbs up.
Shooting 2.
Well, thumbs up or thumbs down. He's all thumbs ups today, in my opinion, with the shooting, but it's so important that your teammates help you. And Chauncey Billups has assisted on every bucket he scored by getting penetration into the lane, knowing where Delfino is with the hot hand, and giving him the basketball.
Mark Blunt rims out the first. Chauncey Billups getting something squared with Ronald Lisiak over there. One more for Mark Blunt. Missed them both. 76-65. So many weapons for this Piston team. Somebody doesn't get you, somebody else will.
And the bench has been magnificent.
Oh, have they ever. 18 points off that Piston bench so far. Billups, a long 3. Rebounds out of bounds to Boston.
I'm laughing because that was about halfway between the 3-point line and half court. Of course, Chauncey shot it like a free throw, but that's getting a little bit too far out on the floor.
That would have been worth 3.5. Blunt Strong screen, Ricky Davis. Change shot to a pass. Blunt sticks it. But there's an example, isn't it, Greg, where it's almost like Ricky doesn't want the shot today, and I don't get it.
And what's even more perplexing is the fact that he's being done up from the Pistons' two guards, the guards playing the 2 slot.
Evans cut off from the baseline by Blunt. Sheed feeling again. Airmailed at that time. He says he was fouled on the arm. Shooters will do that when they come up dry. West to the hole. Delonte West. Offensive foul. Take it away. So maybe that's one. And officials, I'm not saying do makeup calls, but in that case, maybe that does, at least in the Pistons' minds, make up for the earlier foul when Sheed fouled Delonte West.
Well, he got hit on the elbow, no question, and that's why it came up short. Official didn't catch it.
So the Pistons keep it with a 9-point gap. Delfino, see if he takes it strong. The pull-up this time. Rebound to Al Jefferson. Davis, that's Ricky Davis there. Missed it on a block, but I think Evans got it. Out of bounds to Boston, but finally Davis attacked that time.
Yeah, he did, but the point I was making a moment ago, usually when you're getting served up by the guy you're supposed to be guarding, and that is the case with Davis, you want the ball to go back at them, but he hasn't been calling for it. He hasn't been assertive. Let's see if that changes.
Jefferson shows and goes inside, and a foul from behind Rasheed Wallace. And Jefferson will have to earn 2 at the line.
Foul number 36, Rasheed Wallace.
36 has been active here in the second half.
He's been around the ball, that's for sure. Here he gets beat off the dribble, tries to do the Ben Wallace and block it from behind, but as I said, that's tough to do without fouling. And Rasheed got a piece of the arm.
Don't forget, on the 25th, the Milwaukee Bucks come to town with Michael Redd and a vastly improved Bucks team that has playoffs on its mind. Get your tickets by calling 248-377-0100 or log on to Pistons.com. Jefferson misses the 3rd straight Boston free throw. Sheed wasn't looking for ball don't lie there because he knew he committed the foul. But the ball says, come on, Sheed, feel the love. He missed twice. So, yeah, that qualifies as a ball don't lie.
Boston showing the zone right now.
Mo Evans, open J. Rebound scooped out of there by Orion Green. He'll run the point right now. The rookie spins into a tough shot. Missed it. Rebound punched by Evans, but out to Blunt. We're in the 4th quarter. We played a little more than 3 minutes. Tony Allen, a little indecisive. Jefferson. Again, Sheed released the pressure. Jefferson, he shuffled his shoes. A couple of Rick Mahorn defensive jobs working this time as the Pistons lead by 9. Phillips on the hard drive with left hand and a finish and a foul. Phillips. The pass, Evans for the lead. Delfino feels it, wide open. Down! Sheed again, feeling it. Oh my! 3 more! Part of the highlights and part of our game summary brought to you by Chevrolet. Rasheed. 18 big ones in the 3rd on 7 of 9 shooting. Rip Hamilton, steady as usual, with 16 on 7 of 10. And the Pistons, how about this? Since the 1st quarter, 64% shooting. Much more like it. That's why they lead by 9 as we go down the stretch here. 8.5 left on FSN Detroit. Press applied, broken easily. No changes personnel-wise for Flip Saunders out of the timeout. Ditto Doc Rivers. Delfino squares. Rebound. Evans on a tap. And here comes Boston. Al Jefferson wanted it in the post, didn't get it. Davis came to the basketball. He knows they need him here. And a pass is kicked out of bounds by Detroit. So 14 seconds on the shot clock.
Fred, I think the biggest difference in this game After the Pistons struggled with that 29% shooting, Chauncey Billups made it his business to get inside, to become more aggressive. He became a better passer, better decision maker. 15 assists for Chauncey so far in this game. He's helping his teammates, and the Pistons are shooting a super high percentage as a result.
Spin pass to Blunt from Davis. McDyess keeps him at bay. Blunt, and he shuffled the shoes. Another traveling violation on the Bostons.
Boston cannot get off of that 67. I mean, they've been on it for a while, missing free throws, not getting the movement. So what's going to happen now? You're going to probably see Davis try to up it. And when Paul Pierce gets back into the game, he's going to get plenty of touches. And I think Paul will be back in soon.
Inside Delfino. Rolls off to Jefferson. But a goaltend call gives it to Orion Green. He pulled a Tayshaun. Carlos not so sure. Let's look at this thing.
Well, he times it perfectly. No, nope. That had just come off the hand.
And it's in the cylinder. Good call. But boy, that was sure pretty to watch. I'm sure Tayshaun enjoyed that one.
Fred, I think that may have been a good block.
Do you really?
I do. It had just come off the hand.
I thought it was in the cylinder.
But you know, if that were the case, then you could never block a dunk because the dunk attempts are in the cylinder. That ball was right off the hand. Probably should have been a no call.
That shows you his athleticism, though. At 6'6". Evans gave it up inside at the feet of Rashid, and the turnover. Number 13 for Detroit. Tony Allen and the Celtics keep hanging around here. Al Jefferson one-on-one with McDyess. Turns on him. Foul on the arm by Antonio. His second foul.
Foul on number 24, Antonio. Dice.
Well, you knew this would be happening any moment now, and Pierce probably in for the remainder of this game and will get plenty of touches. I think they're going to give him the basketball a lot and go off of his decisions. If he's able to draw multiple defenders from the Pistons, then he'll be asked to pass it and try to get assists. But he will try to win this game for Boston.
Boston finally getting their first point in over 4 minutes as Tayshaun Prince comes back in.
Not by coincidence. He'll come in looking to be the defender on Paul Pierce.
Tay is well rested for the stretch run here. He's only played 23 minutes. Ben Wallace checks back in. Ben with 8 boards and 4 points on his return. Takes over for Rashid. Jefferson split a pair, so Boston free throw shooting has been putrid here in the quarter. We're at the Palace of Auburn Hills on Martin Luther King Day, along with Ryan Field and Greg Kelser. Fred McLeod with you. Jeff Bile, our producer. Michael Odino, our director, on this matinee affair. Tayshaun shows big time. Fires. The bottom. Brents with 6. 78-70, a much-needed bucket. Down the floor, Blunt. Beat everybody down.
That's the situation where Boston will try to beat you down after you make a field goal. Haven't had many opportunities doing that again in this game today, but they certainly got it there as the Detroit Pistons were a little bit slow getting back.
Tayshaun, the other side. Mirror jumpers. He's got 8. 80-72. Jefferson working. Blocked by Tayshaun and help out. Out of bounds, it belongs to the Celtics. Jefferson thought he had beaten Ben Wallace, but Tayshaun was there laying in the weeds. And then offensively, Tay coming up big. Back-to-back buckets. One left, one right. Back in a moment. Celebrating Martin Luther King Day and celebrating the Pistons' lead here, which is 80-72. Now the Pistons have their own dream of returning back to the championship land of 04 and of 89 and 90. Ben Wallace, by the way, will be a part of the Spotlight feature. You want to see it tonight at 10. You're going to love it. You'll really get to meet Ben Wallace, a brand new show on FSN Detroit. half hour, Ben Wallace. From his upbringing to where the throw began, to how his game of basketball really came of age when he was once cut by these Boston Celtics in the Summer League. Paul Pierce the drive, and a tough floater.
Yeah, I saw that show, and it was very well done. About Paul Pierce here, again, look for him to get it, and to get it a lot, and to try to get to the basket. Especially since Ricky Davis isn't giving him a helping hand with that scoring right now.
Good catch by Tayshaun. They got to hurry here. Pass deflected out of bounds. Boston has played a lot of close games this year. They've had 11 games decided by 3 or less. They are 4-7 in those affairs. They've also had 3 overtime games. Pistons keep it with 3 seconds on the shot clock. You got a dangerous club here in the Celtics. Hungry to get on track. They've lost 7 of the last 10. Still competitive, of course, in that Atlantic division, but they don't want to fall too far behind in the playoff pack. Let's take a look at our Bill Tire fast break of the game. And Carlos Delfino on the run. Part of his second quarter explosion. Remember this one? Hit the wide open 3. He was almost too open, but it didn't bother him. Knock down our Bell Tire fast break tray of the game. Right now getting a rest. Billups sights it. Missed it. Rebound Ben on a back tap. Couldn't control it. Out of bounds, and it belongs to the guys in green. So Ben sits on 9 rebounds. Came into the ball game leading the league at over 12 a night. They trap Davis. Blunt fires. Mark Blunt, no. Rebound over the back foul. Should be Paul Pierce. It is. His third.
Foul number 7, Al Jefferson. It'll be his third. Team third.
What do you expect the Pistons to do here offensively now down the stretch?
Well, again, with Billups on the floor, I look for him to try to get penetration if at all possible, but you still have Richard Hamilton able to come off screens on the baseline. We haven't heard from Richard in a while, so that's always an option.
Antonio McDyess, the lone non-starter out there. Rip fires. Almost an afterthought. Look at Ben peel off the rebound. Gives him a reset shot clock. Keeps the fourth quarter clock ticking under 5.
Boston's been able to cut down on some of Chauncey's penetration.
For 3. Tayshaun rims it out to West. That was halfway down. Davis gave it up. Pierce off a menacing screen from Blunt. Al Jefferson over Prince. Missed it. That was a tough break for him. He had a good look at it.
For a guy that was in the doghouse earlier, he's certainly getting a lot of touches at clutch time, Jefferson.
Ben Wallace almost thought about going with it. Tayshaun. He does. Floats. Scores. Tough little runner. Tayshaun Prince to the rescue here in the fourth.
Once again, Boston getting penalized for collapsing defense into the paint. The ball was kicked out by Ben Wallace. Look at all those defenders in the paint area. Options for Tayshaun Prince. He decides to get down the lane.
Hi, this is Shaquille O'Neal of the Miami Heat. Martin Luther King Day is a very important day because here's a man that sacrificed his life so that we can be free, so we can have equality, so we can have justice here in America today. Thank you, Martin Luther King.
Yeah, I echo that. You know, Fred, Martin Luther King made his stance and fought the fight that he fought at a very dangerous time in this country, in the 60s, the late 50s, the 60s, and ultimately knew that he probably was not going to live that long, but he had unbelievable courage and he had a dream, and we're living that dream right now. I know I am for sure, and a lot of these players out here on the floor understand that.
Paul Pierce fires a long one. Rebound pulled off by Ben Wallace. Well, as you said, you wouldn't be here alongside me if it wasn't for his foresight. And I'm thankful for that. Here comes Tayshaun, fires 3 more. 13.
It's unbelievable when you contrast the Pistons and their lack of ball movement, lack of spacing, lack of people movement in that first quarter versus what they've been doing since. Really getting a spread floor, getting high percentage shots, moving the ball, finding each other, time and again.
Steal by Wallace. Ahead of the pack, Phillips in a foot race. He scores off the reverse. He could feel the footsteps of Delonte West from behind.
Loving Ben Wallace. Ben with the defensive intensity, beautiful steal and look up the floor.
Jefferson got away, blocked by Rashid. They're coming at him in droves. Phillips. Rebound Delonte West. Pistons, though, still with their largest lead. It's 13. West off a moving screen. Rebound Jefferson. Nicely done inside against Ben Wallace.
Well, that was a great sequence of defense and offensive execution for the Pistons. And you get a look at the reason why Doc Rivers has so much respect for them, saying he'll vote for all 5 starters for the All-Star game. Why not?
What a testament coming from an opposing coach.
I've never heard a coach say that before.
Ben Wallace spins, scores! Ben Wallace with another field goal. So give him 6 to go with 12 boards. You just never know when they're going to spring an explosion on you. Blunt in pretty deep.
The only thing you know is that it's coming.
Mark Blunt, nice move inside. So Blunt with a dozen. 89-78, under 2 minutes left to play. Still not a done deal here. And Ricky Davis still scoreless, defending Phillips out high. I'm flabbergasted. Davis has not scored for these guys today. Look at Ben upside. How in the heck did he pull that one?
And I think he was going to go up and try and dunk it.
That pass was so high, I thought he had no chance. And he glue-fingered it.
Look at this. 2 defenders there on Tayshaun Prince. He gets it up top, and Ben was going to try to thump this thing on Al Jefferson.
Ben acted like he thought it was a rebound. That's mine, he said. So he'll shoot 2. Again, check him out on Spotlight tomorrow night at 10 on FSN Detroit.
Ben with the defense. And then after that, the Rashid block. Remember, Ben had that steal.
So it's an 89-78 game. Pierce, an extra step. Inside, zip past to Tony Allen.
You know, people who want to think that the Pistons have went away from their defensive concept, think again. It's still there, very much there. Yeah, there'll be a few more games where they give up 90, maybe 100. But they're scoring more and giving the opposition more opportunities, so that's why the number is swelling. But they're still committed.
Ben Wallace had it partially blocked by Pierce. Got it back, and he was fouled. Well, to echo what you're saying, they're just more possessions in the Pistons games than in past with Larry Brown and Rick Carlisle. A slower pace then. Because there are more possessions, you're going to give up more points. So Ben goes back to the line for 2 more. Well, Rasheed Wallace, our McDonald's player of the game. If you guessed correctly, you might win a $25 McDonald's gift card and great FSN apparel. Tune into our next telecast Sunday against the Houston Rockets to see if you have won. But what a third quarter he had with his 18 points, 7 of 9 shooting in the third. And here in the fourth quarter, it's been Tayshaun Prince who's taken over with 9. Ben missed 2 more. Here comes Allen, spinning. Ben made him re-arc it, and then Sheed knocked it out of bounds. Boston keeps it with 18 seconds on the shot clock. And a Doc Rivers called timeout. This is still not over. It's still just a 3-possession game. Sheed right now number 3 in the All-Star voting for forwards among the fans. Let's welcome back Ryan Field from the sidelines.
Hey, Fred, you know, with the Celtics in town, they got us thinking about some of the all-time greatest passing teams of all time. Of course, you got to talk about the 85-86 Boston Celtics. And with the Pistons' assists up this season, we got to thinking, how do they compare to that 85-86 Celtics team? Well, turns out they're both second in the NBA, but the Celtics averaged 29.1 assists back in the day, 23.9 this year for the Pistons. So about 6 assist differential per game, but the Pistons still right up there at second in the NBA. But mention the same breath with the 85-86 Celtics team, Fred. You know you're doing something right.
Yeah, Ryan, that tells you how incredible that ball club was. 29, that looks like a crazy number. The Pistons this afternoon with 30, and you almost expect them to get close to 30 game in and game out. They shared it so well under this Rip Saunders offense.
Yeah, they really, really blend together. The chemistry, unbelievable on this team. And hey, I wouldn't mind seeing that. No, it's not going to happen, but I wouldn't mind seeing that.
Again, Doc Rivers, if you join us late, said he would vote for all 5 of those guys and will when he tabulates his vote. You can see among the fans, this is how they stand. Ben second behind Shaq. Sheed is number 3 among forwards. Chauncey now number 4 among guards, and Rip Hamilton is 7. But you gotta believe that 3 of those 4 will make it to Houston next month for the All-Star game. Pierce sizing up Prince. He was slapped on the arm. You could hear it by Rasheed. And Pierce goes to the line with a stoppage of the clock.
You know, the Celtics almost have to wonder what can you do against these guys, considering they thought they had it in the bag in Boston until Rip's buzzer beater came here a couple of weeks later, had a 13-point lead that they couldn't hold, had a 14-point lead today that they could not hold.
We apologize. A little bit of profanity you may have heard on the floor. Part of the game on the floor, that's for sure. Obviously playing with a lot of emotion here as they try to finish this thing off for win number 30. One more for Paul Pierce. They've defended him well. Even though he has 21 points, Pierce averages 26. And he's had to work for those 20 points. He is 8 of 15. They trap Phillips. Broken with a pass to Sheed. Now they'll burn some clock. Stay tuned. We'll try to get Rasheed on our post-game coverage here immediately after the game. Phillips, nice dish inside the bin. It was fouled. These are not hack-a-bends. These are fouls as he was shooting. Next 7 games for the Pistons. And really, Greg, as you look at these, they'll be favored to win all of these ball games. Even at Minnesota, they'll be favored.
They're going to be favored to beat the Atlanta Hawks?
I think so, just perhaps. So the point we're making is, I mean, they could be on a heck of a run here. That's why that San Antonio win was so huge on the road, because that was the toughest in this stretch. Knocked off Charlotte, of course, on Saturday night. And even that Hornet game on the road in Oklahoma City was a tough one to get. That was not a gimme.
Yeah, I agree, because they're playing much, much better. That's not like last year's Hornet team. Boston just turned the ball over.
Or they get
it was not caught.
I think they called a timeout.
He gave him the timeout, but prior to that, he stepped in bounds.
That's what Chauncey Phillips is telling Ron Alicia. Ron said, nope, they called timeout with 25.6 to go.
Hey, Fred, again, happy birthday, number 85, to Flip Saunders' mom, Kay. Wanted to make sure that that acknowledgement was made. Nice lady. We met his dad in Cleveland a couple of weeks ago when the Pistons were there. And I'd also like to say happy 88th birthday to Liz Jackson. She is a longtime Pistons fan. She's here today celebrating number 88.
Well, the Boston Celtics, as I mentioned, have had a lot of close ball games this year. They've had 3 overtime affairs, 11 games, 3 points or less. Remember this one? Mark Blunt knocked it down in the Piston game there, and they thought they had won it.
They thought it was over.
Hold on. Rip Hamilton said, not too soon. And they walked off the floor with a victory, the 2nd game of the season. Then on November 9th, Ricky Davis did beat the buzzer with that kind of jump shot against the Memphis Grizzlies. Then on the 25th, Paul Pierce and those alternate Boston Greens got to the hole in time to win. So they've had their fair share of success, and they're coming off a triple overtime heartbreak loss to Philadelphia a couple of days ago. And games 4 points or less, 16 to lead the NBA. And they're 5-11 in those close games. But again, Doc says, yes, we've got a young club, but I'm tired of making that the excuse. We're making mistakes that players at this level should not make. And being young, I won't take that as an excuse.
Yeah, because he knows it's a bottom line business. And the bottom line is that they are 8 games, about to be 9 under 500.
Ricky Davis, can he get his first points? No. Delonte West with the rebound. West fights it up, and he was fouled. He'll shoot 3 times with 18 seconds to go. Last time Ricky Davis got the bagel, 1999, against the Pistons as a member of the Cleveland Cavaliers.
The thing that's really shocking today is that he never really tried, in my estimation, to get things going offensively. He was passive out there. And, you know, maybe the Pistons defense rendered him into that mode, but usually you're used to seeing Ricky Davis wanting the basketball, calling for it, and attacking defenses.
West, one more coming. 18 ticks left. Pistons will be 30-5. And anybody who lives in this state knows about the Tigers 35-5. That number just sticks out. The Pistons have a chance to match them. Incredible. Rip Hamilton fouled right away with 17.2 to go and a 7-point differential.
Shooting 2 for Detroit. Richard Hamilton.
Stay tuned, by the way, in case you missed it. Ben Wallace and that 30-minute spotlight. In fact, the PR staff was remarking they'd never seen Ben so jovial in an interview, smiling so much as he did during our sit-down with him. And it really goes stem to stern in his tremendous rise from obscurity to an NBA All-Star. And you'll definitely want to check it out after the ball game here on FSN Detroit.
Yeah, it was a good piece. I learned a lot. I learned some things that I did not know about Ben Wallace's personal life.
Again, 10 o'clock tonight, and then immediately following this ball game. So if you can't catch it as soon as we're off the air, check it out tonight at 10. 93-84. Missed 3 ball. Ben Wallace with a spotlighted rebound and a foul. Was 7.8 to go. And a meaningless foul there. Ben kind of smiles as he heads down the floor. Remember when Orlando came in here a few years ago and Doc Rivers was the head coach, they employed that hack-a-Ben move, and it didn't work. Orlando lost the game. In fact, anytime an opponent has done that, intentionally foul Ben, they lose.
Yeah, it's never worked. Not one time yet.
He rubber rimmed him. Look at Ben looking at the bench. Okay.
But you know what? That wasn't on the bench. That was not on Doc Rivers.
Nope.
He did not want the foul.
Nope. Hey, Doc's a class act. He rolls it off. Here comes Orion Green. Missed a 3 ball. And the Pistons have swept the season series with the Boston Celtics winning 94-84.
Solid job, and the beat goes on. And the Pistons, they're showing the mental toughness that I think championship teams need. The ability to come out and play teams whose records are subpar, but play them like you're playing the San Antonio Spurs or the Mavs, one of the better records in the league. They're doing that night in, night out, day in, day out.
Carlos Delfino, a big part of it, with an 8-point second quarter. He wound up with a season-high 11. But the big story, of course, in the third was Rasheed Wallace. He's alongside Ryan Field. Ryan?
All right, Fred, thank you very much. Rashid, it was Carlos Delfino in the second quarter, you in the third quarter, Tayshaun Prince in the fourth quarter. Really an all-around team effort for you guys today.
Definitely, that's how it is. You never know who's going to step up. Carlos stepped up off the bench tonight. He hit big shots. He played good D on an all-star, Paul, and we came away with the victory.
How about you in the third quarter? You were calling for the ball, had 12 points in the third quarter. How big was the rim looking there at that point?
I mean, it was just to carry us. You know, we were sluggish in that first half. Chauncey tried to carry us, went to the hole strong, got a couple three-point plays, so, you know, it was my turn to do something.
How whole is the big looking? Were you feeling in the zone there at that point in the game?
I mean, just shooting it. Just took what they gave me. It went in, a couple shots went in that I didn't think were going to go in, but hey, I'll take it.
Finally, defensively, Ricky Davis held scoreless today. Talk about the job you guys did on him.
I got to contribute, and Rip contributed. Tayshaun, Ben, it was a team effort. It was a team effort. I didn't even know until you just said it, actually. So it was a team effort, and hey, that's good to try to shut one of their two big guns down.
All right, thanks, Rashid. Nice game today.
Yep.
All right, Rasheed Wallace and the Pistons. Fred improved to 30-5 on the season. How about that, huh?
The beat goes on, indeed, and the numbers tell you as the Pistons are now 16-2 at home and 30-5. Head and shoulders above the rest of the NBA right now as they try to pick up more wins this week. Our next Pistons telecast is Sunday when they host the Houston Rockets. Coverage begins at 5:30 with the Pistons Insider. Now for Greg Kelser, I'm Fred McLeod saying so long from the Palace on Martin Luther King Day. 94-84, the Pistons on our final score. You've been watching Pistons basketball on FSN Detroit, where you can catch Spotlight featuring Ben Wallace tonight at 10 and coming up immediately here on FSN. So long from Auburn Hills. We'll see you Sunday night.